Buying your first house is really exciting, but it can also be expensive if you make the wrong moves. A lot of first-time homebuyers make mistakes because nobody ever told them what to watch out for. So in this video, I will talk about some of the biggest first-time homebuyer mistakes that I see and how to avoid them. Because some mistakes can be just really annoying, but others can cost you thousands of dollars. The first mistake is looking at houses before getting pre-approved. This happens all the time. People start scrolling Zillow late at night and they find the perfect house. They start imagining their lives in it, and then they realize later that the payment is way higher than they can afford. Don't do this to yourself. It's so sad to get your hopes up and then have them crushed. Getting pre-approved should always come first so that you know what price range you can afford. So first you have to find a good lender, and if you don't already have one, your real estate agent can recommend a few. As an active real estate agent here in Utah, I have 3 or 4 lenders that I recommend to my clients that are great at what they do. A good lender should be able to explain things clearly. They should answer your questions and not make you feel dumb for asking them. A lender is going to look at your income, your debt, your credit score, and your savings to tell you what price range you would qualify for. The second mistake a lot of first-time home buyers make is trying to buy a house without working with a real estate agent. Some people think that they'll save big money by doing everything by themselves. But buying a house is a huge transaction with contracts, deadlines, inspections, negotiations, and lots of paperwork. It's really easy to miss something important if you've never done it before. The seller almost always has an agent looking out for their best interests, and you should have your own agent looking out for your interests. And no, I'm not just saying that because I'm an agent. Interview agents and see who would be a good fit. A good real estate agent will educate you on the process. They will answer your questions. They will communicate well, and they will not pressure you into buying something fast. They will also help to protect your interests during negotiations. They can also recommend lenders, inspectors, and other professionals that buyers might need along the way. A lot of first-time home buyers hopefully realize that there's a lot more involved to buying a house than just finding one online and making an offer. The third big mistake is spending too much money right before closing on your home. Lenders watch your finances like a hawk during the loan process. Buyers sometimes think, well, I've already got approved and so I'm fine, it doesn't matter. This is not so. If you make a big purchase like furniture for your new house, suddenly your debt to income ratio changes. Now your loan gets delayed and it becomes a problem, so you can't close on your house. So now you have a bunch of furniture but no house to put it in. Seriously, wait till after you close on your house before you go buy furniture for it, and don't make any big purchases. Don't take on any new debt. Don't open any new credit cards or bank accounts. Don't make any giant cash deposits without talking to your lender, because all those things can affect your loan going through. The fourth big mistake is focusing too much on cosmetic stuff. Imagine 2 houses. The first one looks beautiful online, everything's updated and perfectly staged, but the furnace is 25 years old. The roof is old. The windows are not sealed, so cold air comes in. The second house has ugly carpet, has old paint, but the roof, the HVAC system, and the windows were all replaced within the last year. A lot of first-time home buyers might choose house number 1 because it presents better. But long-term, house number 2 is actually going to save you a lot more money. If you have to replace a roof, that could cost you anywhere $15,000 to upwards of $25,000. Windows could cost you anywhere from $10,000 and up. If you have water damage or plumbing problems, those costs can add up. Heating and air conditioning systems could cost you $15,000 and up. So try to look past things like paint colors that you don't like, or old carpet, or curtains from the 80s, or old furniture, because you can always change those things pretty easily and cheaply once you get in the house. Instead, pay attention to the bigger things, the bigger ticket items. The fifth mistake is spending every penny you have just to get in the house. Leave yourself some breathing room, because the first year in a home usually comes with surprise expenses. You might need new blinds or a new washer and dryer. You might need a lawnmower to mow the grass. Maybe something breaks down and you have to repair it. Just keep some money in reserve for things like this. The sixth mistake is skipping inspections on the house to save money. Be really careful doing this because it can be really risky. It might save you money up front, but it could cost you later on. I would never recommend that you skip an inspection because an inspection can uncover problems that you would never notice during a quick walkthrough. It helps you to know what you're walking into before you own the house. They might find things like roof leaks or electrical issues, poor drainage, water damage, foundation cracks, HVAC issues, high radon levels, or meth contamination. You're thinking, yeah, right, meth contamination in Utah? Yeah, you would be surprised. It happens more often than you think. With these last two, the radon and the meth contamination, I would much rather that you find out that there's problems with radon or meth now, when you can have your seller remediate those things, rather than finding out 5 years down the road when you go to sell it and you find out that it has high radon levels, or you find out it's been contaminated with meth the whole time you've been living there. And then your buyer that you're selling it to asks you to remediate it. So remediation for radon will be a couple thousand. Meth remediation can be upwards of $10,000 or more, depending on the severity of it. Now, be aware that you do have to pay for inspections you have out of pocket when you get them. In Utah County, most standard inspections are around $300 to $500 for an average size house. Now, bigger homes, older homes, or homes with extra features can cost a little bit more. A few of the common add-ons that you can get are a radon test for about $100 to $175, meth test for $100 to $150, sewer scope can range $150 to $250, and I would highly recommend that especially if it's an older home. Mold testing can be several $100s extra. So for a normal first-time buyer in Utah County, a pretty realistic estimate would be around $400 to $800 if you're doing a regular inspection plus a few add-ons. Buying a house without an inspection is kind of like buying a used car without opening the hood. Maybe everything is fine, or maybe you just bought a giant problem. Now, the seventh mistake is ignoring the neighborhood. First-time buyers sometimes focus so much on the house that they forget that they also have to live in the neighborhood. You can remodel a kitchen later, but you can't move the neighborhood. Drive through the area during different times of the day if you can. You might find that parking is terrible at night, or maybe there is constant traffic noise, or maybe the homes next to you are not well maintained. How far is the grocery store from your home? What's the commute like? These little things might affect your daily life more than you realize. The eighth mistake is not thinking ahead. Maybe you're single right now or you're newly married, but a lot can change in just a few years, especially in your 20s and 30s. Maybe you work from home later on, or maybe you get married, or maybe you have kids and now you need another room or two. Maybe you get a pet like a dog and now you need a yard. Think about if the house will still work for you a few years from now. Most first homes are not your forever home, but you still want something that's going to fit your needs for the next few years. The ninth mistake is waiting for the perfect time. I hear this all the time. I'm waiting for rates to drop. I'm waiting for home prices to crash. I'm waiting until everything feels certain. The problem is that nobody can perfectly time the market. While people wait, prices and rent keep going up. Now, I'm not saying go rush out and buy a house tomorrow. You need to buy when you're financially ready, but trying to perfectly predict the market is almost impossible. So the better question would be, am I personally ready to buy? And if you are, start building your equity instead of throwing your money down the drain renting every month. Buying your first home doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to make smart decisions and avoid mistakes that can cost you later. Hopefully this video helps you to do that. If you like this video and you want to watch more, watch this one next.